coaster of temperatures. We've gotten used to the warmth recently, but look at this here, that cold air just sinking back into a large section of the southeast, bringing some freezing temperatures to parts of our area. While we're officially in spring, it doesn't mean the frost warnings are over. And that got us thinking, hey, Rachel, we're wondering about this. When do we usually see the last frost and freeze here in Charlotte?
You know, you have to go to the start of April to see that average last freeze, at least at the Charlotte Douglas International Airport. But I want to show you some of the different areas and also talk about the earliest that we've seen that last freeze in Charlotte. And the earliest was February 18th of 1997, and then no longer saw that freeze after that point in Charlotte. The latest last freeze that would have thrown a lot of people off, that would have been May 2nd of 1963. Concord, April 3rd. Morganton, April 15th. Boone, May 1st. And Banner Elk, it's May 12th that you're typically going to see that last freeze.
So not way out of whack, I guess, is what we're seeing here this time. Now, I noticed the mountains aren't part of this. They're going to be cold, though, right?
Yeah, exactly. We're forecasting low temperatures in the mid-20s. They're not included in that freeze warning that we have in place. That does include portions of the foothills out towards the I-40 corridor. And here's why: your median last spring freeze, if I just had to map this out for you, really isn't until the end of April for our mountain communities. So that growing season hasn't technically gotten underway. And I'll say this, you'll look down towards the I-40 corridor, technically speaking, April 11th is when that gets underway. It is now April 8th. And we already have that freeze warning in place. So the offices have issued a little bit early for our foothill communities, and just saw in some of the notes from the National Weather Service offices that covers, so GSP or Greenville, Spartanburg, that covers southwestern parts of North Carolina. And it looks like they're going to start issuing some of these frost and freeze alerts for the mountains a little earlier than typical as well. In fact, they said April 11th, which is usually when you'd see that along I-40. So if these cold temperatures persist for the mountains, they could start to get some of those frost and freeze alerts a little bit earlier.
I know they're not technically in all of these watches and warnings. Gaston County is talking to a grower, emailed him today. You worried about anything? He says the fruit, they're going to be okay. A little worried about things like cucumbers, the vegetables, and that sort of thing. So be mindful, right, if you've planted already, to take care of some of your things. All right. Rachel, appreciate the information as always.
Sure thing.